Hello everyone and welcome back to another Stormworks update video. Now in this video we're covering the updates as of today, which is 0.7.16. As always, we'll go over the new features and changes that we made, and finally we'll test a few of them out here in the world of Stormworks. Now if you're enjoying these videos, comment below and what else you'd like to see in any of my future videos. While you're there, don't forget that like and subscribe button, and make a little bell icon to be notified in my upcoming content as soon as it gets posted. So all said, let's get straight into it and get started with this week's update. So to start with this week's update, the devs have made a whole bunch of fixes to the game. Now the most noticeable ones here are probably going to be the tweaks to the generators and the engines and so on and so forth things here. Now obviously this has been a controversial topic in the last couple of weeks with the last couple of updates, whereas people felt that the balancing wasn't quite right. So devs have gone and done a couple of things. They increased the capacity of the generators by 10. We also got a engine reduction in fuel consumption by 33%. Your gearboxes now actually are 95% efficiency. So along with that, we also have the gears ratios on the names have also been inverted. So instead of it being 1 to 3, it's now 3 to 1, and so on and so forth. There's been a couple other things. The engine names and descriptions have been updated also. But the most probably biggest thing here, and the only feature they've gone and done this week, is going to be the engine fuel efficiency curve. Now we kind of had this before. Obviously they've outlined this a little bit more specifically with this update, so we now have to be a little bit more careful on how we actually balance things off with our RPS versus our speed, and obviously versus our fuel consumption. So this is going to be quite interesting to see how people manage this correctly. Now I have gone and set up a example just here in front of us. Now in this example I have 5 engines, all exactly the same. I literally copy and pasted them from left and right. We have a light here to tell us when the fuel is empty, so I've got a small fuel tank on each one of these. Along that, a gearbox facing towards the engine, so obviously to maximize our torque going out. Along with that, just a small propeller. Obviously please be aware that this example has got no load on these propellers or on this engine at all. We are purely dry running all of these. Now along with that, you can see I've set these throttles to different amounts. So I got the first throttle 0.2, second throttle 0.4, next one 0.6, 0.8, and then finally 1. Now what you'll see first off with this update is you'll notice that the engines will actually, depending on the throttle, they'll increase in their noise. So if you're running at full throttle, obviously they're much louder. If you're running them at low throttle, it's much softer. So that's pretty cool. But this example is going to be to see which one of these, obviously the light goes off first, and which one will actually maintain a better fuel efficiency in comparison to what RPS and what torque we get out of this. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to hit the starter. This is going to start all of the engines out, and we'll actually go and we'll see the differences here of the RPS and also the torque between them. So you can see here RPS is going up around 4. We also have RPS go about 7, 10, 12 and 14. You can obviously see all the engines are running, all the propellers are running. Now our torque is 7 on the first one, 10 on the second one, 16 on the next one, 24 and 34. Now you can already see that our fuel is running pretty low on this one. 21 on the next one, 23, 25. That one's barely moving, and that one's hardly moving at all. Now torque is doubled going across here, so you can see it's almost double as we move up the range here. RPS is 14, 13, 11, 8 and 5, and let's see which one of these will get its tank empty first. Now I'm betting that this one is going to go and get empty first. You can see this 8, yeah, it definitely is going to get empty first, but this is pretty much to kind of find the sweet spot of the RPS. Now once again, this will change a lot as soon as you go and put load on your engines themselves, and once you start installing it into different creations. But it's pretty cool to see that obviously they have this fuel efficiency. Now obviously the higher the RPS, the more the fuel it's going to consume. The lower RPS, the better or less fuel it's going to consume. However, you're going to get less torque and so on and so forth. So obviously you can see our full throttle has gone and emptied out already. Torque is now just gone and dropped off. We have the next one. We still got fuel. We still got that going. That's fine. So you kind of have to weigh up your pros and cons here and see which one of these are going to be more better for you. If you don't mind juggling through a whole bunch of fuel, then yeah, definitely go run full 100% throttle, and don't worry about that. But you know, obviously for your smaller creations where you might be able only to fit one engine and a very small amount of fuel, you might want to lower your throttles down so you get a better fuel consumption out of it. Once again, it's really up to you guys and how you want to do this. You can see this one is lasting absolutely forever, same as this. So this RPS seems to be really well. This one is getting about empty now. Obviously I have been chatting with the devs and a couple other community members about this already, and we have been testing this out. Now it seems like the sweet spot is around 7 RPS. Now obviously we don't really have 7 RPS here, but you can kind of see that the differences on fuel between the two here, one is obviously at 0.5 and this one is at 8, is really similar, and the torque is almost double coming out of this one. So this is really good. Like you can see here, we've almost there's hardly a change in fuel. However, our torque is pretty much doubled. So this is really good RPS to hit around. Obviously you can see this is 8.6, so really good. Our torque here is only gone up by 10. However, our fuel is way less, probably about half at the moment from what our other fuel is. So it seems like this is our sweet spot right here on this engine, which is sitting around 8.6. Obviously we can test it even further and play around with even more if you really want to, but I think I think this is fine for this video right now. We can obviously do another video in the future and we can try and get a little bit more into detail, maybe try and put it on a creation that will actually have some load on it on the engine, so we can test that a little better. But once again, it's going to vary from creation to creation to creation, once again depending on how much load you have, what gearboxes you have, what settings you have on them, how many you have, what engines you have, what settings the engines are. So it all depends on those kind of things. So that's it for this week's update. If you want to see a full list of changes and fixes, make sure to go check out the official Discord server for the announcement for this week's update. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and found it somewhat entertaining and informative as always. And we'll see you in the next one.